Hey there, wonderful viewers. Welcome back to our channel where we delve into the intricacies of human relationships and personal growth. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss out on our weekly insights and advice. Today, we're tackling a topic that many of you have asked about. When a narcissist's life falls apart without you, what happens next? So sit back, relax, and let's dive right in. Narcissistic personalities can be both captivating and destructive, often leaving a trail of emotional wreckage in their wake. When you decide to step away from a relationship with a narcissist, it can feel liberating and terrifying at the same time. But what about the narcissist? What happens to them when their world begins to crumble without you? 1. The initial shock. The first stage a narcissist experiences when their life begins to fall apart without you is sheer shock. Narcissists are often convinced of their own superiority and the indispensable role they play in your life. Losing you disrupts their carefully constructed reality, causing an initial jolt. This shock is characterized by disbelief and a frantic attempt to regain control. They may try to manipulate or charm you back into their sphere, exhibiting behaviors ranging from pleading to anger. Their sense of entitlement makes it difficult for them to accept that you can function independently, leading to increased frustration and desperation. 2. Desperation and attempts at reconciliation. Once the initial shock subsides, the narcissist often enters a phase of desperation. They may bombard you with messages, calls, and attempts to reconcile, showing their unwillingness to let go. This period is marked by a mix of pleading and manipulation, as they try to lure you back into their fold. They might employ tactics such as love bombing, where they shower you with excessive affection, grand promises of change, and declarations of love, all in an effort to win you back and regain control over the relationship. Be wary of these tactics, as they are often superficial and temporary, serving primarily to draw you back into the same unhealthy dynamic. Recognize that true change requires consistent effort and self-awareness, qualities that narcissists typically lack. 3. Blame shifting and playing the victim. If their attempts at reconciliation fail, the narcissist often shifts strategies to blame shifting and playing the victim. They may accuse you of abandoning them or highlight your supposed shortcomings as reasons for the breakup. This tactic serves two purposes. It protects their fragile ego by deflecting responsibility and garners sympathy from others, helping them to maintain their social standing. Additionally, they may manipulate mutual acquaintances, spreading distorted or false narratives about the relationship to ensure that they are perceived as the wronged party. This manipulative behavior can isolate you, as friends and family might be swayed by the narcissist's convincing portrayal of events. Consequently, this can make it more challenging for you to receive the support and understanding you need during the difficult period following the breakup. 4. Seeking new supply. Narcissists thrive on attention and admiration, often referred to as a narcissistic supply. When their primary source of supply, you, is no longer available, they quickly seek out new sources. This might involve jumping into new relationships, rekindling old flames, or excessively engaging with social media to boost their ego. This phase is about filling the void left by your departure and restoring their self-esteem. They may also employ tactics like love bombing to quickly secure new sources of validation, ensuring they maintain their sense of superiority and control. Additionally, narcissists often lack genuine emotional connections, so they view people as interchangeable tools for their self-enhancement. This behavior can leave a trail of emotional damage in their wake, affecting those who come into contact with them during their search for new supply. Their need for constant validation can lead to manipulative and exploitative behaviors, further perpetuating the cycle of narcissistic abuse and dependency on external sources for their self-worth. 5. The downward spiral. Without the stabilizing influence of their primary source of supply, many narcissists experience a downward spiral. Their relationships may become increasingly volatile, and their behavior more erratic. They might engage in risky or self-destructive activities as they grapple with feelings of emptiness and worthlessness. This period can be marked by anger, frustration, and even depression, as the narcissist struggles to cope with their crumbling facade. They may exhibit heightened aggression or lash out at those around them, desperately seeking validation to fill the void left by the loss of their supply. This tumultuous phase often leads to a cycle of self-sabotage, as their inability to sustain the persona they once projected results in further isolation and alienation from those who were once close to them. The lack of external affirmation exacerbates their internal turmoil, making it increasingly difficult for them to maintain any semblance of normalcy in their interactions and daily life. The narcissist's desperation to regain control and admiration can drive them to manipulate or exploit new individuals, perpetuating a destructive cycle that only deepens their psychological distress. In the absence of intervention or significant change, this downward spiral can have long-lasting negative impacts on both the narcissist and those in their orbit, leading to a pervasive sense of instability and dysfunction. 6. Self-reflection and possible growth. While it's rare, some narcissists might reach a point of self-reflection and potential growth. This usually occurs after hitting rock bottom, where the consequences of their actions are unavoidable. They may begin to recognize patterns in their behavior and seek help through therapy or self-improvement. However, genuine change is difficult and requires a significant commitment, which many narcissists are unwilling or unable to make. 7. The cycle of repetition. For most narcissists, the cycle repeats itself. They may stabilize temporarily by finding new sources of supply, but without genuine introspection and change, the same patterns re-emerge. Relationships continue to deteriorate, and the narcissist remains trapped in a cycle of superficial connections and fleeting validation. 8. Impact on the narcissist's surroundings. The turmoil a narcissist experiences doesn't only affect them, it impacts those around them as well. Friends, family, and new partners may find themselves caught in the narcissist's web of manipulation and instability. The narcissist's inability to maintain healthy relationships often leads to a series of broken connections and damaged trust among those who get close to them. 9. Your role in the aftermath. As the person who stepped away, it's important to understand your role in the narcissist's downfall. It's natural to feel guilty or question your decision, especially when the narcissist's life appears to be in turmoil. However, recognizing that their behavior is a result of deeper issues and not a reflection of your worth or actions is crucial. Maintaining boundaries and prioritizing your well-being should remain your focus. 10. Moving forward. Moving forward after leaving a narcissist requires strength and resilience. It's essential to rebuild your sense of self and reclaim your independence. Surround yourself with supportive friends and family, engage in activities that bring you joy, and consider seeking therapy to address any lingering emotional wounds. Remember, the narcissist's fate is not your responsibility, and your primary focus should be on healing and personal growth. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching today's video. We hope this discussion has provided some valuable insights into what happens when a narcissist's life falls apart without you. Remember, your journey to healing and self-discovery is unique and important. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with others who might benefit, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content on relationships and personal growth. Until next time, take care and stay empowered.
To be seen, heard, and acknowledged for who we genuinely are as individuals is something that each and every one of us desires. Nevertheless, at what point does our yearning for acceptance transform into an unhealthy preoccupation with ourselves? At what point do we reach a point where we care so little about other people that we are willing to deceive and hurt them in order to satisfy our own desires? This ethical conundrum sits at the heart of egocentric behavior, and it is highly possible that the majority of us have come across someone who exemplifies this mode of thinking. You are well aware of the terrible agony that is caused by being manipulated by a psychopath if you have ever been a victim of such manipulation. What would happen, however, if you were able to protect yourself and regain your sense of calm? For the sake of clarity, pursuing retribution is not a good idea. When dealing with a narcissist, there are measures that you can do to protect yourself and set healthy boundaries. These measures can be taken. When it comes to handling relationships with folks that are self-centered, these 10 tactics will serve as a guide. 1. A lack of concern toward a narcissist. You can make a narcissist feel uncomfortable by ignoring them, which is an effective strategy. Because they are so preoccupied with how significant they are, they express a great deal of rage whenever other people disregard them. Being apathetic to them in both overt and covert ways, such as by not responding to their messages or by eliminating them from your life, can be an effective strategy. When you disregard what they have to say and how they are feeling, you deprive them of their authority and make them feel helpless, which is precisely what they experience as their greatest fear. 2. Don't pay attention to negative feedback. When narcissists criticize and knock down other people in a caustic manner, they frequently experience a peculiar sense of satisfaction. This is because it helps them feel better about themselves. The experience of being hurt by their comments can be difficult to manage, particularly if you have a low sense of self-esteem. However, it is essential to keep in mind that the critique they offer originates from their own deeply ingrained shortcomings and insecurities, and not from the sense of how valuable you are. 3. Develop your self-assurance and confidence throughout the day. It is important for narcissists to avoid being around people who appear to be self-assured and skillful. To conceal their own shortcomings, they intend to bring down the reputations of others. For the sake of demonstrating how much superior they are, they attack everyone and everything. Your ability to influence or exert control over them decreases as your level of self-confidence increases. You put them on the defensive and make it more difficult for them to exert control over you when you call their excessive self-assurance or sense of authority into question from the beginning. In order to get along with people who are self-centered, you need to exercise caution and patience. Taking care of your own mental health and establishing responsible boundaries is the most important thing you can do. Using these suggestions, you will be able to protect yourself from the negative effects that are caused by narcissistic influence. 4. Share the joy that you have achieved. To make a narcissist feel uncomfortable, one of the best ways to do so is to demonstrate that you are pleased yourself. The fact that the happiness and success of other people diverts attention away from themselves makes it difficult for narcissists to allow themselves to be affected by those things. When you demonstrate that you do not wish to fulfill their unending demand for attention, you demonstrate that you are actually embracing your own happiness and joy. You should also avoid making an effort to win the approval or praise of a narcissist. Rather than that, you should focus on the things and people who truly bring you joy. You should be aware that narcissists do not care about your happiness and frequently take a peculiar delight in seeing you go through difficult times. It is because they want to feel better about themselves that they behave in a nasty manner. Try not to let them pull you down or take away the joy that you know you deserve. 5. Refuse to meet their demands as soon as possible. People who are narcissists are obsessed with being the center of attention and would do anything to maintain their position as the center of attention. You might want to alleviate the stress by giving them what they want and putting up with their demands, but doing so will just make them feel more entitled and lead to behavior that is more focused on themselves. Instead of doing what they want, you should concentrate on your own requirements and ignore what they want. This is the most effective strategy to fight against their influence. In the event that a narcissist discovers that they are unable to obtain what they desire from you, they will immediately move on to another person. Do not pay attention to what they have to say. The majority of the time, narcissists prioritize their own desires over those of others, and they will say hurtful things to you in order to hurt your feelings or make you upset. It is essential to have the understanding that the destructive words they use do not demonstrate how precious you are. The alternative is that they employ words in peculiar ways in order to conceal their difficulties and place the blame on you. Don't forget the power that comes from within you, and don't let what other people say harm how you perceive yourself. The more you prevent others from experiencing the pleasure of seeing your emotion, the more powerful you become. 7. Do not feel guilty about declining an offer. Narcissists are exploitative individuals that take advantage of other people because they enjoy being in control and obtaining what they want. They make their victims feel guilty by indicating that they have not done enough to make them happy, and they do this without taking any shame in their actions. You, on the other hand, have the ability to safeguard yourself by just saying no. Do not allow guilt to drag you down or allow yourself to be fooled by their manipulations. Due to the fact that narcissists are solely concerned with what is best for themselves, you should prioritize your own health and happiness. 8. Never apologize for telling the truth at any time. As a result of a narcissist's attempt to weaken or diminish someone else's sense of self-worth, the person who is the object of the narcissist's actions frequently becomes upset and feels the need to apologize. However, not only does apologizing make the narcissist more powerful, but it also ensures that the cycle of shame continues. It indicates that you think their behavior is acceptable and that you agree with it. If being honest with yourself causes you to feel horrible for a brief period of time, you shouldn't apologize for it. By disagreeing with them, you should not allow your ego to make you feel that you are less important. Act as a champion for yourself. It is important to keep in mind that individuals are treated with love, respect, and kindness regardless of what their egos may think. This applause from them is just meaningless. 9. Taking responsibility and being confronted with the situation. People who are narcissists have the false belief that they are superior to everyone else and despise receiving any form of criticism, even if it is constructive feedback. The importance of having a conversation with them about how their actions affect other people and establishing clear boundaries cannot be overstated. The only way to ensure that narcissists are held accountable for their behavior is through direct, face-to-face communication or interaction. This approach not only reduces the amount of harm they inflict, but it also encourages them to reflect on their actions and ensure that they behave in a more cautious manner. Those who are narcissists are very skilled at exerting control over other people and in setting the blame for their actions on someone or something that is not within themselves. The act of telling a liar that they are mistaken or being disrespectful is a significant component of standing up for yourself. It is possible that if you are overly kind to them, it will cause them to behave in a more negative manner and cause them to avoid situations that bring out their concerns. In order to prevent being misled by a narcissist, it is important to stand up for what you believe in. Because a narcissist is not concerned with what other people think, it is important to establish clear and hard boundaries. Despite the fact that they may appear to be kind at first, you should be aware that they may be attempting to take advantage of you by making demands that you are not obligated to fulfill or by requesting favors that they do not merit. Refrain from giving in to their deceptions. Saying no or I'm sorry, but that is not possible should be sufficient to convey the desired response. If a narcissist keeps phoning you or wants to hang out with you, you have the option of either completely removing yourself from their presence or ceasing all communication with them. People who are narcissists put in a lot of effort to safeguard their low self-esteem by avoiding circumstances that could potentially damage their carefully built image or lead to criticism. As a result, their efforts to maintain their appearances frequently interfere with their efforts to make society a better experience. In order to get away from a narcissist, it is possible that you will need to completely remove them from your life and have all of your relationships with them severed. You should keep in mind that the most effective method of safeguarding yourself against their deceptive behavior is to establish unambiguous boundaries and steadfastly refuse to give in to their demands. I am grateful that you saw this movie. It would be greatly appreciated if you could provide feedback